Commander Daeho Kim stood at the window of the space station. He looked out at the Earth below. The blue planet turned slowly in the darkness. Stars filled the sky around them. Everything looked normal, but Daeho knew something was wrong. His hands shook as he held the communication device. The message had come 3 hours ago. It was not from another human ship. It was not from Earth. It came from something else, something alien. "Sir, we are getting more signals," said Lieutenant Youngmi Park. She worked at the computer station, nearby. Her face was pale. "The signals are coming from everywhere, all around our solar system." Daeho walked over to her station. The screen showed dots of light. Hundreds of them. They formed a circle around the sun and all the planets. Each dot was a ship. Each ship was bigger than anything humans had ever built. "How many?" asked Daeho. "Over 2,000 ships, sir," Youngmi said. "And they are still coming." The space station Sejong was Earth's best defense station. It floated between Earth and Mars. It had the strongest weapons humans could make. But looking at the alien ships, Daeho felt very small. Admiral Minho Lee appeared on the communication screen. He was on Earth, in the command center. His young face looked worried. "Daeho, are you seeing this?" "Yes, sir. 2,000 ships and counting." "They sent us another message," Minho said. "It is different this time. They want to talk." The main screen changed. A new image appeared. It was not like anything Daeho had seen before. The creature looked like it was made of crystal. Light moved through its body like water. It had no face that humans could understand, but somehow they knew it was looking at them. The creature spoke. Its voice came through every speaker on the station. "Humans of Earth, we are the hegemony. We rule this part of the galaxy. We have watched you for many years." Young Mai typed fast on her computer. She was trying to record everything. "Sir, I am getting language patterns. The computer is learning how to understand them better." The crystal creature continued talking. "Your species is dangerous. You fight too much. You destroy too much. You are not ready to join the galaxy," Daeho felt anger growing in his chest. "Not ready? We have traveled to other planets. We have built space stations. We have learned to live in peace." But the alien could not hear him. The message continued. "We have decided to protect the galaxy from your species. You will stay in your solar system. You will not leave. This is for the good of all." Admiral Minho spoke from Earth. "What do they mean? How can they stop us from leaving?" The answer came quickly. The alien ships began to move. They spread out in a perfect circle around the solar system. Each ship started to glow. The glow grew brighter and brighter. "Sir!" Young Mai shouted. "I am reading massive energy buildups. All the ships are doing something." Then the light came. It started as thin beams between the ships. The beams grew thicker. Soon, lines of light connected every ship to every other ship. The lines formed a wall of energy around the entire solar system. "My God," whispered Daeho. "They are building a cage." The crystal alien spoke again. "This barrier will keep you inside. No ship can pass through it. No message can pass through it. You are now alone." Young Mai checked her instruments. "Sir, I am trying to contact the research ship Discovery. They were near Jupiter yesterday. She..." tried again and again. No answer came. "What about the colony ship Hope?" asked Daeho. "They left for Alpha Centauri last month." Young Mi's face went white. "Sir, I am picking up debris, pieces of ships, outside the barrier." The truth hit them like a cold wind. Any human ship outside the barrier when it formed was destroyed. Hundreds of people were dead. The colony ship, Hope, carried 5,000 settlers. They were all gone. Admiral Minho appeared on screen again. His voice was quiet. "Daeho, we just lost contact with 12 ships. The mining station at Titan is gone too." The crystal alien was not finished talking. We know this seems cruel to you, but your species must learn. You must prove you can live in peace. Only then will we consider removing the barrier." "How long?" Deho shouted at the screen. "How long must we wait?" "Time means nothing to us," the alien said. "We have watched species for thousands of years. Some learn, some do not. Those who do not learn stay caged forever." Young Mi was crying now. Her brother had been on the mining station at Titan. "Sir, are they really going to keep us here forever?" Deho put his hand on her shoulder. "We will find a way out. Humans always find a way." But even as he said it, he wondered if it was true. The barrier was like nothing they had ever seen. It was made of pure energy. It surrounded the entire solar system. How could they fight something like that? The alien gave one last message. "We will watch you from outside the barrier. If you try to break it, we will stop you. If you attack it, we will make it stronger. Learn to live in peace, humans. Learn to be better than you are." The image of the crystal creature disappeared. The alien ships moved away from the barrier, but the wall of light stayed. It pulsed like a heartbeat around their solar system. Deho looked at the barrier. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. Colors moved through it like an aurora. But those colors meant prison. They meant the end of human dreams among the stars. "Sir," Youngmi said, "what do we do now?" Deho thought about all the humans on Earth. 4 billion people who had dreamed of exploring the galaxy. Children who wanted to see new worlds. Scientists who wanted to make new discoveries. All of them were now trapped. "Now we survive," he said. "And we think. The aliens think they know humans. They think we will give up. They think we will accept this cage." He turned to look at Earth. The blue planet still turned in the darkness. It looked peaceful from here. But Deho knew that down there, people were already making plans. Humans did not like cages. They never had. "Young Mi, start recording everything. I want to know how that barrier works. I want to know everything about those ships." "Yes, sir." "And send a message to Admiral Minho. Tell him we need to call together the smartest people on Earth. Scientists, engineers, military leaders, everyone. What should I tell them the meeting is about?" Deho smiled for the first time since the aliens arrived. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a predator who had been challenged. "Tell them we are going to plan our escape. The aliens want to keep us in a cage until we learn to behave. But they are about to learn something about humans. We do not stay caged. We break out. And when we do, we remember who put us there." The barrier pulsed around them, beautiful and deadly. But Deho was no longer afraid of it. He was studying it, learning from it, planning against it. The aliens had made their first mistake. They had given humans a challenge, and humans, Deho knew, had always been very good at meeting challenges, even impossible ones. 20 years had passed since the aliens caged Earth. The barrier still pulsed around the solar system like a giant heartbeat. Most people had given up hope of ever leaving. They built new cities on Mars. They made homes in the asteroid belt. They tried to forget about the stars beyond their prison, but not everyone had given up. Jinwoo Choi stood in a secret laboratory hidden deep under the moon's surface. He was older now, with gray in his hair, but his eyes still burned with anger. For 20 years he had studied the barrier. For 20 years he had looked for a way to break it. "Show me the new data," he said to Hee-jin Nam. She was his best engineer. Her fingers moved quickly over the computer controls. "The readings are very strange," Hee-jin said. "The barrier is not just keeping us in, it is keeping the aliens out too." Jin-woo leaned forward. This was new information. "What do you mean?" "Look at this." Hee-jin pointed to the screen. "The energy flows both ways. Nothing can pass through from either side. The aliens made themselves a wall, too." Seung-ho Kang walked into the room. He was a military man, but he understood science better than most soldiers. That means they cannot send more ships inside to watch us closely. Exactly, said Jinwoo. They can see through the barrier, but they cannot touch us. We are safe from them as long as we stay inside. This changed everything. For 20 years, humans had been afraid the aliens might send ships inside to destroy them. Now they knew the truth. The aliens were locked out just as much as humans. We're locked in. There is more, said Hyojin. She showed them another screen. I have been studying the alien ship debris from 20 years ago. The pieces that fell inside the barrier before it closed. The debris came from alien ships that had been too close when the barrier activated. The pieces had been scattered across space near Jupiter. For 20 years, human ships had been secretly collecting them. What did you find? Asked Shung-ho. Their technology is not magic, Hyejin said. It is very advanced, but it follows the same laws of physics we know, and I think I understand how the barrier works. Jinwoo felt his heart beating faster. Tell me. The barrier bends space itself, Hyejin explained. It makes a bubble around our solar system. Nothing can cross the bubble wall because the space is folded. But if we could unfold that space, we could make a hole, Jinwoo finished. A hole big enough for ships to pass through. Maybe, said Hyojin, but it would take enormous energy, more energy than we have ever made before. Jinwoo smiled. It was the same kind of smile Commander Dae-ho had worn 20 years ago. Dangerous and determined. Then we will make more energy. Shung-ho was already thinking like a soldier. How big would this hole be? Could we get a whole fleet through? One ship, said Hyejin. Maybe two, and only for a few minutes before the barrier repairs itself. That might be enough, said Jinwoo. If we can get one ship outside, we can contact other species. We can tell them what the aliens did to us. But Seong-ho shook his head. The aliens destroyed every ship that was outside when the barrier formed. They will destroy any ship that breaks out too. Not if we do it right, said Jinwoo. Not if we plan carefully. Over the next months, Jinwoo's team grew larger. So Young-yoon joined them. She had been a diplomat before the barrier. Now she helped coordinate secret messages between Earth, Mars, and the moon colonies. People are ready to fight, So Young told them during one meeting. They remember the colony ship Hope. They remember all the people who died. They want revenge. Revenge is not enough, said Jinwoo. We need to be smart. The aliens think they are protecting the galaxy from dangerous humans. We must show them they were wrong to cage us. Taemin. Oh came to the moon laboratory one day. He was the head of Earth's military council. He was old now, but still strong. I hear you have a plan to break the barrier. Jinwoo was nervous. If Taemin did not support the project, it would be over. We do, but it will take many years to build, and it will be dangerous. Show me, said Taemin. Jinwoo led him to a large room filled with models and plans. We call it Project Prometheus, like the old Greek story about stealing fire from the gods. The models showed a ring of stations around the solar system. Each station was huge, bigger than any space station humans had ever built. These stations will work together, Jinwoo explained. They will gather energy from the sun, from nuclear reactions, from quantum fields. All that energy will focus on one point in the barrier. How much energy? Asked Taemin. More than the entire Earth uses in a year, said Hyejin. All released in 1 second. Taemin was quiet for a long time. He studied the plans carefully. This could work, but it could also destroy us. That much energy could tear apart space itself. Yes, admitted Jinwoo. It is very dangerous, but staying in this cage forever is also dangerous. Humans need to explore. We need to grow. If we stay here too long, we will stop being human? Taemin nodded slowly. What do you need? Permission to build the stations, workers who can keep secrets, And 20 years of time. 20 more years. So Young looked surprised. People will not want to wait that long. They waited 20 years already, said Sung-ho. They can wait 20 more if it means freedom. Taemin made his decision. You have my permission, but this project stays secret. If the aliens learn what we are building, they might make the barrier stronger. We understand, said Jin Woo. Over the following years, the secret construction began. To anyone watching, it looked like normal expansion. Humans were building mining stations, research labs, and communication arrays, all normal activities for a species trapped in their own solar system. But hidden inside each construction project was something else. Pieces of the Prometheus array, energy collectors that looked like solar panels, quantum computers that appeared to be mining equipment, weapons that seemed to be communication dishes. Hae Jin worked day and night on the technical problems. The hardest part is timing, she told Jin Woo. All the stations must fire at exactly the same moment. Even 1 millisecond difference, and the energy will scatter. Can you solve it? Asked Jin Woo. I think so. But we will only get one chance. If we miss, the aliens will know what we tried to do. Jin Woo understood. If Project Prometheus failed, the aliens might decide humans were too dangerous to keep alive. They might destroy Earth completely. But if it succeeded, humans would be free. Free to explore the galaxy, free to meet other species, free to show the universe that they were not the monsters the aliens claimed they were. As the years passed, more people learned about the secret project. Scientists, engineers, pilots, soldiers, all of them worked together toward one goal, breaking free from their cage. The alien barrier still pulsed around them, beautiful and terrible, but now Jin Woo looked at it differently. It was not just a prison wall anymore. It was a puzzle to be solved, a challenge to be met. And humans, he knew, had always been very good at solving puzzles, even ones made by aliens who thought they were gods. The construction of the Prometheus array was almost complete. Soon it would be time to test whether human determination could break through alien arrogance. Jin Woo stood at the observation window of his lunar laboratory. Earth hung in the sky above him, blue and beautiful. Somewhere on that planet, children were being born who had never seen a star up close. They deserved better than a life in a cage. Soon, he whispered to himself, very soon, we will be free. 35 years had passed since the aliens trapped Earth. The barrier still glowed around the solar system, but everything else had changed. Humanity was not the same species that had been caged so long ago. Woo Jin Han stood in the command center on Earth. He was the prime coordinator now, the leader of all human colonies. Through the windows, he could see the great towers of New Seoul rising into the sky. The city was powered by fusion reactors that would have seemed impossible before the barrier. Necessity had made humans very creative. Show me the status report, Woo Jin said to his aide. The screens around the room lit up with information. Mars now had 12 million people living in domed cities. The asteroid belt was filled with mining stations and factories. Jupiter's moons had become research centers where scientists worked on projects that pushed the limits of physics. But the most important project was still secret, hidden on the dark side of the moon, spread throughout the solar system in pieces that looked innocent but were deadly. ZEUS was almost ready. Mi-Ra Shin walked into the command center. She was the head of intelligence, responsible for watching the aliens outside the barrier. Her face was worried. We have a problem, Mi-Ra said. The hegemony is moving. The main screen changed to show space beyond the barrier. For 35 years, only a few alien ships had stayed to watch Earth. Most of the hegemony fleet had left to patrol other parts of the galaxy. But now they were coming back. How many ships? Asked Woo Jin. Over 5,000, Mi-Ra replied. And they are not just watching anymore. They are preparing for something. Wu Jin felt a cold fear in his stomach. They know about ZEUS? I do. Not think so. But our energy readings have been increasing. Maybe they noticed something. For years, the ZEUS array had been testing its systems. Small amounts of energy, carefully hidden among normal activities. But as the weapon grew more powerful, it became harder to hide. Donghyun Lim appeared on a communication screen. He was on the moon, at the main ZEUS control center. His face was pale with worry. Coordinator Han, Donghyun said, we have discovered something terrible about the weapon. What is it? Asked Wu Jin. ZEUS is more powerful than we calculated. Much more powerful. When we fire it at full strength, it will not just make a hole in the barrier. Donghyun paused, as if he was afraid to say the next words. It could destroy entire star systems. The energy release will tear space itself apart. Wu Jin sat down heavily. For 35 years, humans had worked toward this moment. They had built the ultimate weapon, something that could break any cage. But now, they learned it was too powerful. It was not a key to unlock their prison. It was a bomb that could destroy the galaxy. How many star systems? Wu Jin asked quietly. We are not sure. Maybe 3 or 4 nearby systems. Maybe more. Mira checked her intelligence reports. Those systems have planets with life. Billions of innocent beings would die. The weight of responsibility pressed down on Wu Jin. He thought about Commander Dae-ho Kim, who had started this long journey 40 years ago. Dae-ho had wanted freedom for humanity, but he would never have wanted it at the cost of genocide. Yoonji Kim walked into the room. She was Dae-ho's daughter, now the commander of Earth's unified fleet. She had grown up inside the barrier, but she remembered her father's stories about the stars. I heard about the ZEUS problem, Yoonji said, but I also heard about the alien fleet outside. We may not have a choice anymore. She showed them new intelligence data. The hegemony ships are not just watching. They are preparing to sterilize our solar system. They have decided we are too dangerous to keep alive. The truth was becoming clear. The aliens had noticed something. Maybe the energy readings from ZEUS testing. Maybe just the fact that humanity had grown too advanced too quickly. Either way, they were coming to end the human experiment permanently. How long do we have? Asked Wu Jin. Days, maybe weeks, said Mira. Their ships are moving into attack formation. Wu Jin called an emergency meeting of Earth's Global Council, leaders from every colony, every military unit, every research station. They gathered in the Great Hall in New Seoul, some in person, others by communication link. Kyungmin Jeon, Earth's chief philosophical advisor, spoke first. She was an old woman now, but her mind was still sharp. We face an impossible choice. Use ZEUS and become mass murderers, or let the aliens destroy us and lose any chance of freedom. The debate was fierce. Some leaders wanted to fire ZEUS immediately, before the alien attack began. Others wanted to try negotiating with the hegemony. A few suggested surrendering completely. Surrender is not an option, said Yoonji firmly. My father died believing humans would be free someday. I will not let his sacrifice be worthless. But genocide is not freedom, argued Dr. Changmin Bayek, Earth's Ethics Council leader. If we destroy innocent civilizations, we become the monsters the aliens said we were. The argument continued for hours. Outside, the alien fleet continued to gather. Inside, humanity struggled with the hardest decision in their history. Finally, Wu Jin stood up. The room became quiet. Everyone looked at him. I have made a decision, he said. We will use ZEUS, but not the way we planned. He activated the main display. It showed the solar system and the barrier around it. We will not fire ZEUS at full power. We will use it in stages, small bursts, carefully aimed. Dong-hyun appeared on screen from the moon. That will not break the barrier completely. It will only make small holes. Small holes are enough, said Wu Jin. We do not need to destroy the barrier. We just need to damage it enough to send a message. What message? Asked Kyung-min. That we are not the species they can keep in a cage anymore. That we have grown beyond their expectations. That we are ready to take our place in the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as equals. Mira looked doubtful. The aliens will not listen to messages. They are coming to kill us. Then we show them something they did not expect, said Wu Jin. We show them mercy. The plan was risky and complex. ZEUS would fire at reduced power, creating temporary holes in the barrier. Human ships would go through those holes, but not to attack alien worlds. Instead, they would rescue the crews of damaged alien ships. They would provide medical aid to alien colonies that needed help. They would prove that humanity had learned to be better than their captors believed. This is insane, said General Hyojin Kwan. They are coming to destroy us, and you want to help them? I want to surprise them, said Wu Jin. The hegemony thinks they know humans. They think we are violent and dangerous. Let us show them they are wrong. Yunji smiled. It was the same smile her father had worn when facing impossible odds. It is crazy enough to work. The aliens will not expect kindness from a species they are trying to exterminate. The vote was close, but Wu Jin's plan was approved. Across the solar system, humans began preparing for the strangest battle in their history. A battle where victory would come not from destroying enemies, but from saving them. ZEUS powered up for the first time at full readiness. The weapon that could destroy star systems would instead be used to crack open a prison just enough to let freedom shine through. Outside the barrier, the alien fleet continued its approach. They expected to find a desperate species ready to fight to the death. Instead, they were about to encounter something that would challenge everything they believed about the universe. Wu Jin looked up at the stars through the barrier. Soon, those stars would be within reach again, but more importantly, humanity would prove they deserved to walk among them. The alien fleet arrived like a storm made of metal and energy. 5,000 ships spread across space outside the barrier. Each ship was the size of a city. Their weapons could turn planets into dust. Chang Min-bek stood in the command center, on Earth, watching the enemy fleet position itself. He was the battle coordinator now, responsible for timing humanity's response. His hands were steady, but his heart was racing. ZEUS is ready, reported Dong Hyun from the moon. All stations are online. We can fire at any time. Hold position, Chang Min ordered. Let them make the first move. The hegemony fleet began powering down sections of the barrier. They needed gaps to let their ships through. For 35 years, the barrier had protected Earth from invasion. Now the aliens were opening their own cage to destroy what was inside. The first alien ships entered the solar system near Jupiter. They moved slowly, cautiously. These beings had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. They had never faced real resistance before. They are being careful, observed Captain Hyojin Kwon from her ship, the New Soul. They think we might have weapons that could hurt them. They are right, said Chang Min, but not the weapons they expect. As more alien ships entered the solar system, Chang Min gave the order. ZEUS array, fire at 30% power. Target the barrier sections near Saturn. The weapon that had taken 35 years to build finally activated. Energy flowed from collectors throughout the solar system, focusing on a single point, in space. The barrier flickered and twisted. Reality itself bent under the assault. A hole opened in the barrier. Not the massive breach ZEUS could create at full power, but something smaller and controlled, just big enough for a few human ships to pass through. The aliens noticed immediately. Their ships turned toward the breach, weapons charging. They expected human warships to come pouring through, attacking everything in sight. Instead, the ship that emerged was a medical vessel. The Hope's Dawn carried doctors, not weapons. Behind it came two more ships, both filled with rescue equipment and food, supplies. The alien commander was a creature called the Arbiter. It was the same crystal being that had pronounced Earth's sentence 40 years ago. It watched in confusion as the human ships ignored the alien fleet completely. "What are they doing?" the Arbiter asked its subordinates. The answer came quickly. The human ships were heading for the outer system, where some alien vessels had suffered damage while passing through the barrier. Instead of attacking, the humans were offering help. Dr. Junseo Park commanded the Hope's Dawn. He was the grandson of the scientist who had first translated alien languages. "Alien vessel Kenthvor, this is the human ship Hope's Dawn. We detect hull breaches in your ship. Do you need medical assistance?" The alien captain of the damaged ship was shocked. In thousands of years of galactic history, no species had ever offered help to their hegemony captors. This is not possible. You are supposed to be hostile." "We are human," replied Junseo. "We help those who need help. Please allow us to assist your injured crew." Changmin watched from Earth as the first contact in 40 years unfolded. It was going exactly as they had planned. The aliens were confused, uncertain. They had come expecting a war, not an offer of friendship. But not all the aliens were confused. Admiral Korthland commanded a section of the fleet near Mars. He was a warrior from a species that had conquered dozens of worlds. "The humans are trying to trick us. We must attack now, before they spring their trap." Korthland's ships opened fire on the human rescue vessels. Energy beams lanced across space, striking the Hope's Dawn. The medical ship's shields held, but barely. "We are under attack," reported Junseo, requesting permission to return fire. "Negative," replied Changmin. "Continue your mission. Provide aid to any alien ship that needs it." This was the most difficult part of the plan. Human ships were being shot at, and they could not fight back. Everything depended on showing the aliens that humanity had changed. Captain Ga-Yun Lee commanded the human ship Harmony. She watched as alien weapons targeted her vessel. Her crew wanted to fire back, but she held them steady. "Remember what we are here to prove. We are not the monsters they think we are." The Harmony moved closer to a damaged alien ship, even as enemy fire exploded around it. Alien crew members watched in amazement as humans risked their lives to help their attackers. On the flagship of the Hegemony fleet, the Arbiter was having an argument with its war council. Half the council wanted to destroy the human ships immediately. The other half was fascinated by what they were seeing. "This does not match our data about humans," said Councillor Vorthen. "According to our records, this species is violent and aggressive." "Records can be wrong," replied the Arbiter. "But perhaps this is a trick. Perhaps they are more clever than we thought." Admiral Korthland's voice came over the communication system. "Arbiter, the humans are ignoring our attacks. They continue to provide aid to our damaged ships. Some of our crews are accepting their help." This was unprecedented. In all of galactic history, the Hegemony had never encountered a species that responded to attack with assistance. Changmin decided it was time for the next phase. "ZEUS array, fire at 50% power. Target the barrier sections near Earth." The weapon fired again, creating a larger hole in the barrier. More human ships emerged, all of them carrying supplies and medical equipment. They spread throughout the solar system, searching for aliens who needed help. The psychological effect on the Hegemony fleet was devastating. These warriors had come to destroy a dangerous species. Instead, they found beings who cared more about saving lives than fighting battles. But the real shock came when the humans shared their intelligence data. Ga-Yun Lee, who had become Earth's chief alien relations specialist, broadcast a message to the entire Hegemony fleet. "Attention, Hegemony vessels. We have information about your civilization that you need to know." She began transmitting records that human scientists had discovered over the decades, hidden files from alien ship debris, secret communications intercepted through the barrier, the truth about what the Hegemony really was. "Your leaders have lied to you," Ga-Yun continued. "The Hegemony does not rule through peace. It rules through fear. In the past 1,000 years, your government has destroyed 17 species that refused to submit. You call it protection, but it is genocide. The evidence was overwhelming. Charts showing the locations of dead worlds. Communication records of species begging for mercy before being exterminated. Lists of planets sterilized for the crime of being different. Many alien crew members had never seen this information. Their government had hidden it from them. They believed they were serving a peaceful alliance that protected the galaxy. Learning the truth was devastating. Admiral Korthlan tried to maintain order in his fleet. These are lies, human propaganda. Do not listen to them. But the evidence was too strong. Some alien ships began powering down their weapons. Others broke formation and moved away from the fleet. A few even began transmitting surrender signals. The Arbiter faced a crisis unlike anything in hegemony history. Its fleet was falling apart, its crews were questioning orders, and the species it had come to destroy was offering medical aid to injured alien soldiers. "Arbiter," came a voice from one of the alien ships. "The humans have saved 12 of our crew members. Their doctors are better than ours. What are your orders?" For the first time in thousands of years, the Arbiter did not know what to say. Changmin watched the alien fleet's confusion and knew the moment had come for the final surprise. "ZEUS Array, prepare for maximum power, but do not target the barrier." "Sir?" asked Dong Hyun. "What should we target?" "Nothing," said Changmin. "Just charge the weapon to full power and let them see what we could do if we wanted to." The ZEUS Array began gathering energy from across the solar system. The aliens detected the massive power buildup immediately. Their instruments showed energy levels that could destroy entire star systems. The Arbiter realized the truth. The humans had not been trapped for 40 years. They had been planning, building, creating weapons that could challenge the gods themselves. "They could have destroyed us all," the Arbiter whispered. "But instead, they chose to save our wounded." The balance of power in the galaxy had just shifted, and mercy had proven stronger than fear. The surrender came not with violence, but with silence. One by one, the hegemony ships powered down their weapons. The mighty fleet that had come to destroy Earth now floated helplessly in space, their crews too shocked to fight. Sang-wook Ryu stood on the bridge of the diplomatic ship Unity as it approached the hegemony flagship. He was Earth's new galactic ambassador, chosen for this historic moment. Behind him, the ZEUS Array continued to pulse with power that could tear apart star systems. But Sang-wook's mission was not destruction. It was something far more dangerous to the old order: justice. The Arbiter appeared on the communication screen. The crystal being that had once seemed so powerful now looked small and defeated. "Human representative, we surrender our fleet to you." "We do not want your surrender," Sang-wook replied calmly. "We want your cooperation." This confused the Arbiter even more. "I do not understand. You have defeated us. You could destroy our entire civilization. Why do you not take what you want?" Sang-wook smiled. It was a kind smile, but there was steel behind it. "Because we are not you. We do not rule through fear and destruction. But we will not allow your crimes to continue either." He activated a holographic display that showed star charts of the local galaxy. Red dots marked dead worlds, species destroyed by the hegemony over thousands of years. These civilizations had the same right to exist that you claim for yourselves. You took that right away from them. The Arbiter looked at the display with what might have been shame. We believed. We were protecting the galaxy from chaos. These species were dangerous. Like humans were dangerous? Asked Sang-wook. "Tell me, Arbiter, what terrible crimes did the Kelani commit before you destroyed their world? What weapons did the peaceful Muthrin possess that required their extermination?" The alien could not answer. The truth was that most of the destroyed species had been guilty of nothing more than refusing to submit to hegemony rule. In-Ho Song's voice came over the communication system from the ZEUS Control Center. Ambassador, we have located the barrier generators for 17 quarantined worlds. All systems are operational and ready to target. This was the real power behind Sang-Wook's words. The ZEUS array could not only break Earth's barrier, it could reach across light years of space and destroy the prisons around other trapped civilizations. You kept 17 species locked away, Sang-Wook continued. Species you decided were too dangerous to join galactic society. We are going to free them all. The Arbiter's crystal form flickered with distress. You cannot. Some of those species are truly dangerous. They will bring chaos to the galaxy. That is their choice to make, said Sang-Wook. Freedom includes the freedom to make mistakes. You took that choice away from them. On worlds across the galaxy, ancient barriers began to fall. The hegemony had kept the Velthons trapped for 3,000 years, claiming they were too warlike. But when human ships arrived at their world, they found a civilization that had used their imprisonment to become philosophers and artists. The Christek had been caged for being too individualistic, but they welcomed their human liberators with tears of joy, offering to share technologies that could heal diseases and extend life. One by one, the freed species joined what became known as the Free Worlds Coalition. They were not interested in conquest or revenge. They wanted what humans wanted, the right to choose their own destiny. Bo Young Ha commanded the diplomatic missions to each freed world. She was amazed by what they found. Every species the hegemony claimed was dangerous has actually become more peaceful during their imprisonment. Being caged taught them to value freedom above all else. But not every member of the hegemony accepted the new reality. Admiral Korthlan and his loyal forces retreated to the core worlds, trying to maintain the old system. They called themselves the True Hegemony and declared war on the Free Worlds Coalition. The war was brief but decisive. Species that had been enslaved for millennia fought with the fury of the finally free. The hegemony's own member worlds began to rebel, tired of serving leaders who had lied to them for so long. Jae-Hwan Moon coordinated the peaceful transitions as entire star systems declared independence. He was careful to ensure that former hegemony worlds could choose their own governments. Some joined the coalition, others formed their own alliances. A few decided to remain isolated, which was their right. Freedom means freedom for everyone, Jae-Hwan explained to the Coalition Council. Even the freedom to stay apart from us if they choose. The old Arbiter, meanwhile, had undergone a transformation of its own. Stripped of power and forced to confront the truth about its civilization, the crystal being had become something new. It asked to meet with human leaders privately. A young Sim, now an elderly woman who had lived through the entire 40-year journey from imprisonment to liberation, agreed to meet with the former alien ruler. They met in a garden on Mars, under an artificial sky that showed the stars humans had dreamed of reaching for so long. I have spent my existence believing I was protecting the galaxy, the Arbiter said. Now I discover I was the monster I sought to contain. Ah Young looked at the alien with compassion. Monsters are not born. They are made by fear and isolation. You were afraid of chaos, so you created a different kind of chaos, the chaos of oppression. How can I make amends for thousands of years of destruction? By helping us build something better, Ah Young replied. The galaxy needs governance, but it must be governance by consent, not force. Help us create a system where species choose to cooperate because they benefit from it, not because they fear the consequences of refusal. This became the foundation of the new galactic order. The Free Worlds Coalition was not an empire or even a traditional alliance. It was a voluntary association of species that shared resources, knowledge, and mutual protection. No one was forced to join. No one was punished for leaving. Hyun-Soo Jang, a young human explorer, stood on the bridge of the first Earth ship designed for intergalactic travel. The ship was called New Horizon, and it was preparing to leave the Milky Way entirely. Other galaxies awaited, with new species to meet and new wonders to discover. Long-range sensors show a massive civilization in the Andromeda galaxy, reported the ship's science officer. They have technology unlike anything we have seen. Hyun-Soo smiled. Humanity had learned that the universe was vast and full of surprises. Some of those surprises might be friendly, others might be hostile. But humans were no longer afraid of the unknown. "Set course for Andromeda," he ordered. "Let us go introduce ourselves." Behind them, the ZEUS array remained operational, a guardian watching over the free world's coalition. The weapon that could destroy star systems had never been fired at full power. It served instead as a deterrent, a reminder that freedom had the power to defend itself. The hegemony still existed in the galaxy's core regions, but it was much smaller now. Most of its former members had chosen freedom over security. The crystal beings and their allies no longer ruled through fear, because their subjects were no longer afraid. And on Earth, in a museum dedicated to the 40-year struggle for freedom, visitors could see the original barrier that had once caged humanity. It had been preserved as a reminder of what could happen when beings decided others were too dangerous to be free. Children who had never known imprisonment looked at the barrier, display, and asked their parents why anyone would build such a thing. The parents would explain about fear and control and the terrible price of believing that some species were better than others. But they would also explain about hope and determination and the incredible power of beings who refused to accept that their dreams were too dangerous to pursue. The galaxy was vast, and somewhere in its depths, other young species were taking their first steps toward the stars. Some would face the same challenges humanity had faced. Others would find different obstacles, but they would not face them alone. The Free World's coalition stood ready to help any species that chose the difficult path of freedom over the easy path of submission. And if new tyrants arose, if new oppressors tried to cage the dreamers and explorers, they would face something that had never existed before in galactic history. A united alliance of free peoples who remembered what it was like to be prisoners and who would never allow it to happen again. The thunder of gods had spoken across the cosmos. Its message was simple. Freedom is not a gift to be granted by the powerful. It is a right to be claimed by the brave.